YouTube, Jay Kilroy here. It's back in the shop. It's what is it? The 23rd November, coming up a little Thanksgiving. To all of you in the States or anywhere in the world that celebrate that holiday, I hope you enjoy it. And for those of you who don't, hope you're having a good time anyway. Enjoying this time of the year. Fall for us here in the Northern Hemisphere. Well, winter for those guys in Buffalo. Jeez, 7 foot of snow. Anyway, it's beautiful. Fall for us here in Mississippi, and we're enjoying it. Anyway, we got a new project, new kind of a little rush project here today. But before we do that, we're going to finish up real quick the gargantuan door striker plate. And so let's move on and do that right now. Before, after, little lube. right, there you go. I didn't want to spend a lot of time on the latch thing. That's just a really pretty straightforward project. Though I will say that I've got a copy of the drawing PDF link to my Dropbox down below. Feel free to take that drawing and rip it off liberally to hopefully help secure your own home or workplace. Every little bit helps. Had a gentleman write me after my first issue with the shooting and said, you know, he asked me, you know, what was I doing to be proactive about crime in my neighborhood? And the man makes, I'm gonna pull the email up and so I can tell you his name here farther towards the end of the video. But he makes a very valid point. You know, sure, we can all sit back and say to ourselves, you know, but I shouldn't have to. We should all be able to live in neighborhoods where we can leave our doors unlocked and leave our valuables sitting in open windows and not have to worry about anything. But the fact of the matter is that place doesn't exist. So we do need to, you know, protect ourselves. And, you know, we wear seatbelts, right? This is kind of like a seatbelt for your house. Anyway, enjoy. So here's the next project. We have a couple other projects we have coming up. One little project that goes in the Feed the Monster tap wrench. This goes in the Greenfield collection category. This is the Venerable number 22. See if you can read that on there. We got to make some handles for it. And the threads in here, they feel okay, but they may be a little stripped out. So anyway, this is something that's coming up not right now. That's not the rush. That's obviously not a rush. This is the rush. Let me turn the camera around. All right. What we have here is a bad compressor pump. It is on a speed air compressor, 15 horsepower. It's a 2-stage. It's on a speed air, but I believe it's a Gardner Denver pump based on the numbers that I found on it. It is it's probably a 15, 20-year-old unit. It's had a lot of hard use. And to start our debugging process, I want y'all to watch this. Listen carefully. What did you hear? What you probably heard was absolutely nothing. That end of the crank still turning. When I spin the crank, there's absolutely no sound internally at all. But the crank seems to be turning. I can't hear anything coming from inside the compressor. The owner of this compressor supposedly just recently replaced the valve kit, the reed valve, so we're going to go ahead and take off this whole upper cylinder assembly and to see what's going on down in the crankshaft. I mean crankcase. All right, boys and girls, I spared you the drudgery of partial disassembly. So I couldn't get the crankcase to separate from the cylinder casting here without some kind of undue force. So I went ahead and took the cylinder head and valve assembly, reed valve assembly off. And, well, I'll show you for yourselves. No movie. Neither the high nor low pressure pistons are moving. So I'm wondering if the crankshaft in this thing is a press fit assembly. So the counterweights may have stripped out, but the fact that I don't hear any kind of noise is staggeringly improbable. So anyway, we're going to keep moving forward here. I'm going to go ahead and get the flywheel off of here and get set up to try to pull this cylinder assembly off. Okay guys, I got the compressor apart. It's the next morning actually. And it's bad. It's really bad. So let me get the camera in and show you what I would refer to as a catastrophic failure due to poor maintenance. Let's check it out. Alrighty. Okay, here's the low pressure piston and connecting rod. Here's what's left of the high pressure piston and connecting rod. This piston skirt's cracked almost all the way through. The high pressure piston skirt is about gone. Inside the crankcase, as much as I didn't think both connecting rods could be destroyed at once, they're basically both just not there. Look at the rod throws. They're heavily scored, and there's large deposits of aluminum from the connecting rods. They're, like I said, they're really messed up. And why did this thing get destroyed? Pretty simple. That's how much oil's in it, right? That's about, an inch and a half shy of full. And there's so much metal in the oil. It's like moly grease. There's such a large amount of particulates in the oil from never being changed. They probably just continually added, even though they obviously hadn't added in a long time. Again, so there's let's pull this up here, see if you can see that. It's just chunks of metal deposited on these crank throws. I mean, it's a coating. It's just shot. The low pressure piston actually moves. The high pressure piston, not so much. It is twisted around in the bore, probably from the flailing of parts of connecting rod. So it's stuck in there. I don't even know if that bore is good or salvageable. the valve assembly. On the low pressure side, the valves seem to be okay. See a lot of caked up gunk here on the high pressure side, and the high pressure side valves are stuck pretty bad. So yeah, this is all in all pretty nasty. Let me get some pliers, and we're going to try to snake some of these parts of the connecting rods out of the bottom of the crankcase. Alrighty. M1582. That's the number I needed right there. Let's see. Oh, there's a bearing cap. The bolt's still in it. Some more pieces. Oh, that looks like another piece of bearing cap. Yet. Probably the other side there. Nice. As Tom Lipton would say, that is rather, what's that word he uses? Chowdered. Yeah, that is. By the way, Tom, I'm using some of the big double jointed channel locks that you so kindly pointed out. And I went and had to get a pair. A couple pair, actually. Don't know what that is. Maybe that might be a piece of that high pressure piston. Again, it's pretty bad. There's a piece of the biggest piece of connecting rod down in there. Hey, there's the oil slinger. I don't know that it could actually reach oil. There's so little in here. And we're getting down to the little bits. It's a puzzle, folks. Oh, there's a piece. That's a piece of that low pressure piston skirt that cracked off. Probably just got beat off by the connecting rod. Oh, oh wow. There's just all sorts of stuff down in here. It's like gumbo. Lots of tasty bits. Okay, I think that's enough. So that compressor, which I think I said, I believe is a Gardner Denver R15A style compressor. I did a little research, and I'm going to recommend to the customer that he just replace this unit outright. This is not salvageable in any kind of cost-effective manner. A low pressure piston and ring set is about $250. I haven't found the high pressure piston yet. This of course assumes that I can salvage the bore there. I haven't found connecting rods. this unit hasn't been made in a while. A gasket set, a full up, just kind of rebuild kit, gaskets and rings without pistons or reed valves or connecting rods or bearings or this stuff. A rebuild kit's about $145. Honestly, there's so much metal, the oil's so contaminated, and there's so much metal in there that it feels almost like molly grease. Like I said, it's just putty. That I wouldn't want to replace the. I'd want to replace the bearings, and then the crank throws on the connecting. I mean, on the crankshaft are so heavily scored that by the time I'd have to send this thing out to a crank shop to have somebody grind it down. I mean, it really is. It's scored so deep that your fingernail gets stuck in them. So I don't suggest that he rebuild this unit. He's got a good 20 years of hard use out of it, and it's time that this become Honda's or whatever it's going to become after it goes off to the scrap metal shop in the sky. He can buy a new compressor unit, brand new compressor unit of this size for $1,200 to $1,400 for a quality two-stage pump. This is a 5 to 7 horsepower size pump. Honestly, he needs a bigger compressor because this thing's running really, his shop's too big. He's trying to support too much with this size unit. He needs a 15 horsepower compressor, and so I'm gonna make some recommendations to him as far as what he can purchase to get back up and going. He's got a good receiver tank. He's got a 120-gallon tank. He's got a refrigerated dryer, 2 refrigerated dryers on his system. He's got a secondary compressor on his system. It's also a small 5 horsepower style. It just can't keep up. So I'm going to suggest that he get a new compressor, new motor, and send this one here to the scrapper because it's just not cost effective to rebuild. If they had changed the oil on this thing occasionally and maybe actually kept oil in it, this probably would have lasted another 20 years. But alas, that was not the case. So let's move on. I'm gonna spend a little time cleaning off the bench. No reason for you to watch that. Hey YouTube, Jake Kilroy here. Sorry for the selfie. I don't have a cool suction cup mount for my GoPro. Yep. It is new machine day. So we're taking a little road trip. Of course, it's the day before Thanksgiving. I am a dumbass for choosing this day to go on a road trip because the traffic is tremendous, even at the 5:30 that I left this morning. So stick with me for the rest of the trip. We got about 3 hours of driving. Driving most of the way across this great state of Mississippi. And then we're going to load up and head home. And then get with some groceries. So anyway, everybody be good, and I'll be back with you shortly. Okay, fellas, about halfway home, and we're going to check some straps. a little loose. Nah, it's tight enough. When you're hauling like this, it's a good idea to stop every now and then and check your straps. Make sure you don't have any chafe issues. Make sure you don't have any straps that are stretching. If they're new straps, they're going to stretch a lot. And I got a couple that aren't real old here, so we're just giving them a check out. Make sure nothing's going to get cut through. Make sure you're not damaging your machine. Anyway, I'm going to run in and obey the call of nature and get a little coffee and get back on the road. All right. Okay, folks, we are home for a little brief stop about halfway down to make a visit. There's the shop all open. We're going to get this unstrapped and get the forklift out and put it to work. All right, we got the drill press unstrapped. We got that flotilla of buzzards. Hopefully they're not circling for me. We've got a piece of 3-foot 1-inch 1045 actually, if you want to know, stuck through that hole in the side there with an endless strap going over. Gonna get the forklift and I'm going to pick it up from this side back under the cover here, swing around and stick it in the door there. So let's get with it. shop. We're unloaded. I don't have time to really, tomorrow's Thanksgiving, by the way. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Do the important things. Spend the time with your family and your friends. Anyway, I'm just going to leave it here until I get back. And but I want to bring the camera in and give you a little walk around and show you what we got. And then we'll wrap this video up. All right, guys, gals. Here she is. It's a Alls Metal model AB4, type AB4 model SV. It's got a Morse Taper 4 socket. It's got 3 feeds. There you go on the side. 35, 65, and 110 thou. It's got a variable speed range from 80 to 710 RPM. So it's obviously designed for drilling fairly big holes. It's got this interesting production table on it. I don't know if I'm gonna leave that on there or not, or if I'm gonna take it off. It's a slide table. It's designed to go between stops and drill repetitive holes. So I don't know if I'm gonna leave that on or take that off. It is drill and tap capable. Has a coolant pump and reservoir in the base here, or maybe in the column, as far as I know. Column's about 6 inches in diameter. The motor here is 220. It's a Siemens motor. It is 220 440. I really can't see anything on here. It says horsepower. It says 60 hertz. So don't know really what the horsepower rating is on there. This is the speed adjust over here, the big handle. And let's see what else. There's the tachometer right there, and the controls. You got a on off and a drill or tap. And the way you engage the feed is kind of like a radial drill. You do that, and then this adjusts your speed range here. And this is your sight glass for the gearbox. It's got a 14N chuck on it, and I've already got an 18N to go on it, so that little chuck will be going away. Something we can do in a future video. Alrighty, well, there we go. Next week, we'll be moving that into position, gingerly, figuring out where we're going to put it. Getting the power hooked up to it and running it and see what we got. Be getting back on the pacemaker here real soon. Actually been doing a little work on that, got some video coming. And got a little video, been doing some work on the power feed project. So I want to wrap some of these things up, get some of these things out of the way. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and be safe in the shop. Talk to you soon.